Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speed 5, and I'm here, of course, with Kenor. And how has your day been?
I'm very tired. How are you doing, Lady Magnus?
I'm doing good. It's been a day.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have some exciting news. So it is Masters of Universalis tonight, and we are all caught up. We will be playing this at Speed 5.
Well, our technical issues resolved about an hour before we went live. So there might still be some hiccups, but it does mean that everyone should essentially be playing on local area network, which hopefully means that there's no speed limit, as it were.
Super exciting.
And we'll see how well that goes. But both of our players in both our duels should have the same exact setup when it comes to power and performance and whatnot. So we don't have to put any extra restrictions on tonight. So very excited.
Very, very exciting. So our very first duel is going to be between Laith and Absolute Habibi.
Mm-hmm. And we know from our stat screen here that Laith, of course, has played 2 duels so far and has 2 wins, 0 losses. Absolute Habibi, which has a lovely misspelling, by the way. I pointed out because it's funny. He's only played 1 duel so far, but he won that one. So these are our 2 best performing players so far going up against each other. So this could be fireworks here. Of course, if Laith wins this one, Laith is guaranteed to take part in the final next week because we're only inviting 2 of our players back. And if Absolute Habibi wins, well, it's going to be trickier for us to figure out what to do. But we have some ideas. We just haven't finalized them yet.
Yes.
Let's have a look at their challenge that they're doing tonight. It is the Phoenix Rises.
So their goal for tonight is going to be complete as many missions in the Biz mission tree as possible in 90 minutes. And Speed 5 will, of course, be their maximum speed.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk to our casters a bit later about what they think. My expectation is that Count Christo is going to say a number, and then Ludi is going to say a bigger number.
Yeah. And then, so after our first duel, so the second half is going to be between Traxium and Kara.
Mm-hmm.
And that is called... Oh, and Traxium has 1 loss. Kara has 2 losses.
Yes, so this is the start of Kara's redemption arc. I think it'll be hard for her to get back into the finals next week, but just to prove to herself, because she's been really close in both of our duels. It's gone down to the wire, and the first one a bit unfortunate, and the second one it was just a time issue. It's so close.
Kind of just exciting. A lot of bad RNG for her, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what she can do tonight. I mean, at least let's hope. I mean, that she can get 1 under her belt. Mm-hmm. But so their goal for tonight
is the Coptic conquest. As Ethiopia, control and convert as many Coptic holy sites as possible. And once again, Speed 5 is going to be our maximum speed here. Once again, we'll talk to our casters a bit to get more on the insight to what this challenge might bring. But that's, of course, the second half of the show.
Yes. So we won't get quite there. That should be probably about a little over an hour and a half into our show. So that's what we have going on for the second half. And real quick, before we bring in our players, we should talk about the missed duel that we did have between Absolute Habibi and Traxium. Yes. So I will be observing those offline, and it is going to be called Bean Counter. So their goal is, as a nation that starts with at least 1 coffee producing province, maximize their coffee market share. So I will be doing that, and we should have the results by our final show.
Well, we have to have it by our final show. Their deadline
of course.
That we've told them is they have to schedule that game with you. I think Wednesday at the latest.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll sort that out and we'll let you know. I think the quickest way to find out if you're really curious is to go on our Discord, which of course is at discord.gg/speed5.
We do have our players, so let's go ahead and bring in Absolute Habibi and Laith.
Yes.
Social streamers.
Hello.
Hello.
Absolute Habibi. Any visitors this week?
Any visitors? Yeah, still my older brother. He's here, still here.
Oh, you couldn't get rid of him.
You gotta get rid of him. No, and I don't know if you guys noticed the last interview. He was right next to me. He was like trying to make me say things.
Oh no! Just make sure. Just lock the door. Lock the door. Tell him that you gotta win this, right? So just make sure no visitors, right?
Yeah.
Certainly don't take his advice though.
Yeah. Definitely not.
And of course, Laith, on your end, we are, well, A, how you doing? B, where's the sweater?
Firstly, sweater's here, always.
Of course.
Ready on hand, just in case. Yeah, I'm doing well. Unfortunately, I tried unsuccessfully to bribe Habibi's brother. He said no, but we're still in negotiations. We'll see how things go.
So, is your plan to of course go into this winning every single one going into the final, or
Yeah,
yeah?
of course. Every single one, every single round. It's dominant performance from dominant performance, I think. Continuing it.
Yeah.
Look, we're both undefeated. One of us has to take an L today, and I don't plan on it being me. So
Okay.
it should be fun.
So confident.
Habibi?
Yeah, today's gonna be interesting, and I didn't really prepare that much for today, but I've done a bunch of Byzantine runs in the past. I think this is gonna be one of the more interesting duels.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing something a little bit different this time. So I decided to go flashy and risk it all.
Oh,
So you'll see what I mean when we get into it.
Very
Go big or go
spicy.
home.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of have to ask you for a number that you're aiming for. Habibi, how many missions do you think you can complete in the allotted time?
10, maybe?
Okay.
Oh,
10, 11.
Laith?
Yeah, 10, 11. Yeah, sure. That sounds good. That's exactly my number as well. 12, actually. Yeah,
yeah,
12.
right.
Okay.
He's
So
got to go
12.
one above, right?
Always.
Well, I mean, I do want to ask you about what your strategy is going into this, both of you. But you know what? I get the sense that you might not want to reveal too much. So let's do it this way. Laith, lie to me about your strategy.
Lie to you. It's not very RNG dependent at all. It works every time. I've extensively tested it, and it's pretty much guaranteed.
Okay.
I totally believe you.
Excellent.
I'm doing the total opposite. It's very, very risky. Not tried strategy at all. Definitely didn't take the strategy from other people that are better at the nation than me.
And of course-
I definitely want to trigger coalition as well. That will make the run a lot easier.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you for that very valuable insight.
And Absolute Habibi, are you ready for your next challenge? Because you're going to be playing that tomorrow. Your challenge that you had to skip.
Tomorrow.
So are you ready for that? Feeling confident?
I mean, yeah, I'm ready as I can be. I think with the EU4 RNG at this point, like practicing the runs isn't going to help me. I feel like I'll get better RNG if I just go in.
Sure.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's just superstition.
Your more RNG says take the wheel. Let's go.
Yeah, when you have thousands of hours in this game, I feel like that's how it has to be.
Okay. Well, thank you both. And we are going to let you both go get ready.
Awesome. Good luck, mate.
Nice.
I totally believe them 100% about their strategy.
Of course. I mean, experience so far is that asking our CK3 players in a family affair about their strategy, they tend to be like, this is kind of what I want to do. And you're kind of like, okay, this makes sense. Asking our Masters Universalis Duels players, it's generally like, sure, buddy, that's definitely what you're going to do.
Yeah, because, especially with Paradox games, you could go in with a very definitive plan. I've done that myself, where I'm like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this,
Yep.
and then I'm going to do this. And then you go into it, and it's nothing like what you had planned. You planned on, you had this, and this that you were going to do, and suddenly you're so far off track, it's insane.
I mean,
So-
we'd also be amiss not to mention that last week, Absolute Habibi actually mentioned kind of what his plan was for that challenge. And then Kara went, oh yeah, that makes sense, and tried to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And almost succeeded.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It does make sense.
But we do have Count Christo and Ludi to bring in now.
Hello. Hello. Good evening.
Hello. And Count Christo, how are you feeling about all this tonight?
Well, I'm feeling amused. I won't reveal why just yet.
Okay.
But we have some interesting plays for you coming up at the start of this challenge. I'll tell you that much. Other than that, it's going to be good. Always a fan to the Phoenix rise from the ashes, and very excited. We can play at speed 5. It's going to be a good time.
Yes.
Yes, that is so exciting. I cannot wait to see what they do with this challenge going at speed 5.
Ludi, on your end, we did ask them about a number of missions they think they'll complete. How are you feeling about that number?
I feel like they can definitely do 10 missions in the Byzantine mission tree.
And just from
I'm curious. I'm sorry.
go on.
Sorry, I've got to hop in because you were saying earlier that I was going to say a number and Ludi was going to say a higher number. I thought you were correct for sure, but I think it could be 13. Actually, I think there's the Anatolian missions and the Balkan missions that I think they can very plausibly get. Conversions might be tricky, but with speed 5, and also I think. All numbers go out the window when you see some of the shenanigans that we're going to have this evening.
Now, Count Christo, I have a rules question here. So, what happens if both of our players end up on the same number after the 90 minutes?
It is a very valid question. It's who got to that number first in game time. So if you were in 14, if they were in, both had 16 missions, but one got there at 14:50, one got there in 14:55, whatever, then it would be the person who got there sooner would be the tiebreaker. To remind people of the rules, I have told the players that the rules are exactly as stated, no more, no less. And the rules are the goal is complete as many missions in the Byzantine mission tree as possible in 90 minutes. So they can restart and fun times should be had.
Okay, I don't know if we have any more questions on our end.
I don't think so. I think we could probably hand it over to them and let them start playing.
Yeah, you guys sort them out.
Okay.
See you.
Fantastic. So, Ludi, you think 10? I mean, if you're going to do 10, I'm looking at my screen right now. You've got the Anatolia Recover Coastline missions. That's 3, right? Then Western Isles, Eastern Islands, Albania, Greece. All doable, right? So 6, I think, is definitely doable. But then, and Bulgaria also pretty doable, because Bulgaria, they don't have to be subject. They can be subject, so you can vassal feed Bulgaria, 7, and then it's whether they can go further afield, right? So Tripoli, Tunisia would be a bit of a reach. But
it would be.
How would you handle if you were given this challenge? How would you handle the early bit?
Oh, it depends on the RNG. There's a few ways you can handle it, but it really just goes down to RNG. Balkans is not the difficult part. The difficult part is going for specific provinces within specific areas, because you want to go for certain missions, right? You don't want to just take the best land that is necessarily from your situation. You want to take the land that you can do that mission for. So it depends on how they're going to gun for at the end of the day.
I'm curious whether they can get Venice. If they can push down the Balkan tree all the way to Venice, they can definitely get some, because then there's some that are about just owning single provinces, like just Rome or just Antioch, stuff like that, which is going to make it easier. But we'll see. Just checking with our players to make sure if we're good to go. Ludi, are we good on your end?
I'm still trying to connect Habibi.
No problem. Well, I can talk until the cows come home, so that's not a problem in the slightest. I think. Well, I don't want to reveal something that I know about one player's strategy here, but if I were doing the standard Byzantine start, there's a couple of options. You can island trap the Ottomans. You can self-sacrifice trap the Ottomans. That's where you trap them on the European side, and then you siege down all the Anatolian side, and you're hoping that you can get a bunch of sieges there faster than they can. But of course, the difficulty, part of the difficulty is the Gallipoli fort. The existence of the Gallipoli fort means it's much harder to block the strait. You can try and grab Biga, but it's more tricky. And whether our players are going to be able to jump on that The other thing you can try and do, trapping them down in Naxos, if you can get them at war with the Venetians, which is basically just RNG, as we were saying. But there's also the question of alliances and rivals, and who rivals the Ottomans. So you can get up to 5 people rivaling the Ottomans on day 1, which can be really good. But realistically, you're probably going to get 3, 4 if you're a bit lucky, I'd say. But do they get restarts? They do. Yes, absolutely. Also, it should be worth noting, for those of you in chat, if you want to get me to see your message by highlighting it, I'm not actually seeing it from the perspective of Speed 5 official. So if you at me, Count Christo 42 or Ludi, whatever Ludi's Twitch handle is, maybe he can pop it in chat. We'll be able to see your messages that way. But the challenge is complete as many Byzantine mission trees as possible, missions as possible. And I think we are now all ready to go. So without further ado, let me just ping our players at let's go. And I will start a timer for 90 minutes. And if we hop over here, we can see the mission tree at hand. So they've got the ones I was talking about that are fairly easy to do, right? You can get Anatolia, relatively easy, and you've got Western Isles, Eastern Isles, Greece, and stuff like that. But I would like you to note something on my side. Byzantium, right here, who I'm an observer, of course, right now. Byzantium, notably, does not have a name next to them. And if I add the player map mode here, you will note that Laith is playing as the Ottomans. Because the rules of the challenge were complete as many missions in the Byzantine mission tree as possible. You don't have to start as the Byzantines. So I confess, as the person that made this challenge, I didn't actually consider that fact, but I am definitely going to allow it, because I didn't say you had to start as the Ottomans. And what can I say? They're making full use of the rules that they were given. So I mean, that's a pretty hype start for Laith, I've got to say. It definitely swings things in his advantage. Oh, he's immediately returning a province. Okay, so chat, help me out here. What is this play? He's returning a province to the Byzantines. Why would he do that? Because he wants them to have more cores when he releases them to play as them, I guess. Because of course, what it seems like he's going to do is he's playing as the Ottomans. He's going to switch to Byzantium by annexing Byzantium and then releasing them and playing as them. This is how he can get to war with them super fast, because he can get a mission tree. Can he expand the Ottomans? Yeah, you get force limit. How does he get the? Where's his war goal there? Returning the province so we complete the Italian mission tree and get claims on it on day 1. Nice. Okay. Oh, yes, because it's on areas, not on the existing provinces. Yeah. Thank you, chat. Okay, so that makes sense. So he's going to release this one province, get claims on it through the mission tree, then he's going to be able to go to war really, really soon. Obviously not quite day 1, because, he needs to wait for the 11th of December to start any wars. But one thing we'll have to see is if Habibi switches. Habibi is presumably playing as Byzantium, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he is playing as Byzantium.
Yeah, if we go over to Habibi's perspective here for a second, he's doing the standard Byzantium run. The question will be, will he hear about this and then immediately decide he needs to restart and play as the Ottomans? Oh, there's the... we hop over back to Laith's perspective. The war has kicked off. But this strat was come up with 20 minutes ago. Nice. Okay, I love some workshopping before the stream. Good going, chat. Keep that up. That's fun. I think the likelihood is that we will see Habibi restart and then adopt the exact same strat. And that's the thing, right? About these duels. You can come up with all the strats you want, but it's open information. There's no rules against stream sniping or anything like that. It's all open information, which means that our players are going to have to come up with a strategy that it might give them, 10 minutes advantage or something, while the other player has to like work out what it is and then adopt it. But the other player can always adopt it. So at the end of the day, it comes down to skill. It comes down to how proficiently they can do things here. And that was a nice little assault, I think. Was it an assault or was it just a really lucky siege tick? Nice. Maybe he has too much honor to stream snipe. Well, feel free to tell him what's going down because there's it's not sniping if the rules don't forbid it. And we like the whole stealing strats from each other thing. It adds tension. It's good. It's good. It was indeed an assault. Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, war goal obviously yoinked here immediately, meaning they're getting that ticking.
But it doesn't make sense though. He gave that to the Byzantines, but he didn't give them time to core it up. So it's literally useless giving that province then.
It's to get the claim. He got the claim on day one through the mission fulfillment.
Oh, right.
To declare this war much faster than usual. Yeah.
All right.
If we take a look here now, he's got this, all these
I think that strategy might actually backfire on him a little bit because, he does have a great start there. He has basically everything, right? But it's going to take him a lot longer to actually release himself and break himself apart. The benefit of that is that I'm guessing he's going to release a lot of vassals, so he's going to let the Ottomans be a 3-province minor. Because since the Ottomans, essentially they're Biga, Huda, Vendigar, and all the way to Bolu Kocaeli. Everything else you can release as vassals, aside from those 4 provinces, I guess. But at the same time, it can be a drawback. You never know how that's going to end up. With the classic Ottoman reconquest war like Habibi's doing here, if he has a good start, he can take all the provinces from the Ottomans, and then he can also milk the Ottomans with the right truce breaks for money, make sure he doesn't have any issues with money, and then he can just clear out the rest of the Ottoman lands without having to worry about coalitions. Whilst Laith, what he's doing there, the problem is that he's going to have a ton of coalitions from all of those nations that he released, especially the Turkic minor nations.
Yeah, absolutely. I would just like to point out, for the first time in Speed 5 history, look at the date. Look at the time fly by. This is Speed 5, baby. Let's go. I love it. I love it. The speed that we're already tearing through. I mean, now he's paused, admittedly, but the speed that we're plowing through it is pretty good. There it is. He has annexed all but 1 province, which he has turned into a vassal. Okay. And now, what's the strat? Now he hands land to the vassal. I still don't quite see how this strat, there's different ways that you could work it through. He's training loads of galleys, so I assume he's going to try and go to war with like Venice or something while he's the Ottomans, because he could grow while he's the Ottomans still. But yeah, Speed 5 is way better. I absolutely agree, chat. It's going to let them do just a whole host of extra stuff. Let's take a look at some of the early plays he's making. Yeah, he's got a full set of dudes. He's done a fairly standard play, obviously slightly different to normal because he's got the Dhimmi. Does shake things up a little bit, but look at that time fly by. Love to see us finally being able to play on a LAN network. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So with this revision of him starting as the Ottomans, Ludi, would you like to revise your mission estimate? I'm gonna go with 12.
I'm gonna go with 8.
8, only 8.
I know what he's trying to do, but it's going to take him longer than 90 minutes to do what he's going to do. I'm not going to give it away, but I just realized from that releasing of Byzantium what he's going to go for now. And I think it's going to take him a lot longer than he's realizing it. Unless he's trying to give away his only shot, because if he tries and he fails with it, then it's going to be the only shot he's going to get at it, and then he's going to fail automatically, right?
Chat is very confident that no man can comprehend the strats that are being deployed here. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I think I like the idea that there might be some kind of nation-ruining, high-risk, high-reward strat that's being deployed. But yeah, just a quiet war against Trebizond. Let's hop over to Habibi's perspective. Ludi, what's going on?
Habibi is basically going for a standard war against the Ottomans. He's doing classic strat here. He's vassalized the Epirates, and he's taken the province of Arta, which he has a core on. He's vassalized them for the fleet and for the extra troops, and because it is also an extra fort that the Ottomans have to siege, so he's got a few options here. He can bait the Ottoman army into sieging Cephalonia. He can bait them in a few other ways, but the reality is that he knows what he's doing, and he's getting the mercenaries right now. So that means the war is about to begin. So he's going to go full on war with the Ottomans, 1-on-1, take him head first. He is in 1448 though, so Ottomans are going to be close to getting military tech 4. Let's see if he's focused on military yet. He did not focus on military, so likely the Ottomans will get it before him. Because the Ottomans start with that juicy Mehmed II over there, the 646 ruler, whilst the Byzantines only start with the 222 Basilius Ioannis over here. But he did get a fort defense advisor, which is also great in his situation here, and he got the spy network construction. So he's getting the spy network on the Ottomans for the extra siege ability against them. He's also improving relations with the Hungarians and with the Poles in the hopes that he can get them as allies, which is actually not so bad. And the current patch, it's a lot easier to get them as allies than before. So I'm guessing that's his strat there. Either get some allies to go for the Ottomans or just 1v1 them, which is actually what he's doing now. This is actually a really good start.
Oh, there he goes.
He has the knights, so he has the fleet of the knights. He has the Eprids and the Athenians, and he also has the Albanians with the Chad Lord Skanderberg, who's going to basically ravage any sort of Ottoman army here. So this is literally a perfect start. If he gets some good dice rolls against the Ottomans, it's going to be an easy war. There you go. He got Gelibolu assaulted. He assaulted and he took Gelibolu. So now the Ottomans cannot cross on over from the Anatolian part as long as he keeps a hold of the Sea of Marmara. That's also why he built some extra galleys from the beginning of the campaign. And now he's basically going to be able to siege down the entirety of the Balkan side before the Ottomans even manage to get here. The only way the Ottomans can get there is via the Crimean part. So they have to go around the entirety of the Black Sea over via Circassia, Crimea, Moldova, and Lithuania. So it's going to take a while. And if they don't do that, then what he can do, he can hold on to this and he can get the war score that he needs from these provinces, do a peace deal. He can let the Ottomans keep Selanik and Edirne and Gelibolu, and then, he should probably take Gelibolu. He can keep them. They can keep Selanik and Edirne, and then he can do a quick second war, truce break with the second war, and then take even more land or money or whatever he wants to take. I'm guessing
would
money.
Would the truce break not put him at risk of a Mamlukian coalition?
No. Yeah, that wouldn't be an issue, no. You can do it a couple of times, actually, the truce break, and you'd still be fine.
Okay.
He's got some great sieges here as well. 35% already. He's got all of the Balkan side of the Ottoman lands. There you go. That's how you do this war.
Hell.
That is a really, really great run right there. I'm confident that Habibi is going to crush the Ottomans. He's going to take the Balkans easy mode. We already have 49% war score against the Ottomans. And we've done this the classic hard way, not the easy way, going Ottomans and then releasing and so on. This is how you should be doing it here. This is how the real masters of Universalis do it right over here. Let's hop on over on your side, see what happens.
Yeah, it's just carrying on fairly as normal, fairly standard Ottoman play. We got a lot of wars going on. He's going against Trebizond. Oh, there's a quick peace out. Looks like interesting. He left Epirus alive on their islands. Didn't fully take them. But yeah, so far Laith is doing the. He's just doing a more or less standard Ottoman play. I'm very curious what he's going to do in terms of how he's going to switch to the Byzantines, because obviously they've got loads of cores and stuff. He could feed them provinces, wait for them to core them, annex them as a vassal, then release them as a vassal. They'd keep all those cores. But I kind of agree with how well we've seen Habibi manage to get that start. Because obviously this is the Ottomans. It feels, so far. We'll see how he tries to make the switch. It could be more chaotic, but it's a very safe start. Whereas Habibi taking the riskier strat, but managing to just, no sweat 1v1 the Ottomans puts him in a very strong position. For sure, in terms of how he's managed to start there.
And to make this clear, he has to be the Byzantines by the end of the run. He cannot just have the Byzantines as a vassal. So that's the big deal,
This is true. It is true. He
cannot
does
just
need to be able
feed
to
the
switch.
Byzantines to do their missions.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He will need to actually make the switch because there is the feature where you can complete your vassals' missions. Or rather, you can see.
He will
their
try to
vassals'
form the
missions, so they will
Byzantines,
always
I'm
do it.
assuming, as the Ottomans, even though it's an endgame tag. So there's a workaround for that. That might be one thing that he might go for. I don't think he's gonna have the time for it though. Let's see. I'm curious to see what he's gonna pull up there.
I feel like at
with
speed
this run.
5, he's going to have the time. But Laith is assuring me
you
in the
guys
in-game
are
chat
speed
that this
5,
way
yes.
is riskier.
Yes.
He does have speed 5, so he can get. I mean, at speed 5, if you don't pause for 90 minutes, you can plow through staggering quantities of time. And obviously, we're seeing him taking land in Eastern Anatolia. Presumably, this is to shore up the ability to do. Let's take a look at what the actual missions entail here. So, for Central Anatolia, you need to hold all of that area. Theme system, yeah. So that's probably the border he's pushing for right now. Is the theme system. Mission, so we'll need to take a little bit of Ark-Kunlu. Right now, only Ark-Kunlu, nothing needed off the Mamluks for that one. But then if he wants to go even further, he'll need to take all of Syria, but then it gets a bit easier, because he just needs the state that Jerusalem's in. He doesn't need to take a bunch of the land behind it. And then it does take the whole state of Alexandria if he wants to go all the way down there. So we might see some big aggressive wars against the Mamluks in the near future. He's spending a lot of time paused. I'm curious about what the strat is here, what is he busily ticking away with. He's improving relations with Venice. That's interesting. Why is he doing that? God, there's so much to this strategy. I do kind of love it. How is this allowed? Well, I said the rules were as I said, exactly as I said, and nothing different. And I said you had to complete as many Byzantine missions as possible. My guy is on track to be able to complete some Byzantine missions. I never said you had to start as the Byzantines, so...
If we change over to Habibi's side here, Habibi just got an event here, Orthodox Defectors. He basically gets a core on Nigbolu. This happens actually quite a bit. If you occupy provinces that do not belong to you, but they are the same religion as you, then there's a chance of getting that core. That's actually extremely lucky. There's a very small chance of getting that core, but it can happen. So him getting Nigbolu is actually really great for him RNG-wise. An extra 8 development, he doesn't need the core. And the longer he sits on these provinces, the longer the chance of him getting more. Oh, but problem is that the Ottomans are trying to get a hold of the Sea of Marmara. They failed, however, and I think that we actually managed to get some ships, right? Or no, we had 17 galleys, nice. We have 14. No, we lost actually 3 galleys, if I'm not mistaken. Is he still building some more galleys? I'm guessing he's going to build some more galleys. He's not paying for his army right now since he's not fighting, so there's literally no point in doing that. He's also deleted his mercenary stack, so he's not economically destroying his nation right now.
Going for the confident play.
Yes, that also is telling me he's going to do a different approach for the second war and the truce break, if there's going to be a truce break. So I'm curious to see what's actually going to happen here. The Ottomans are definitely eyeing him from across the Sea of Marmara over here. 3 massive stacks of the Ottoman army all the way across, not able to touch the Balkan lands. Feels bad, man, if you're Turkish. Feels amazing if you're from the Balkans. How about on your side? What's going on over to Laith side?
Unfortunately, one thing that's going on over our side is a couple of slight technical issues for Laith. He's apparently getting some fairly severe input lag. I am going to do what I can to close out a few processes here. Hopefully that will be able to help him. But let's stay on your perspective for a second. He's doing the Ark-Kunlu war, but let's stay looking at Habibi for just a moment here.
So on Habibi's side, we already did one of our missions here. We got the Drive Out the Turks mission from Greece. We got Recover Greece done. And he's done a fairly standard peace deal. I'm guessing he's going to release Bulgaria from Burgas or Kirklisi. I forgot what this is called. Mesambria? Okay, I didn't know this is called Mesambria. I always thought this is Kirklisi or Burgas, but I guess it depends on who owns it, right? So I'm guessing that's the Greek name for it. I guess that means we are probably going to go for a stable Byzantium, and we're going to wait for the truce to expire with the Ottomans, which should be roughly in 1466. That's going to give them a lot of time, though, to fix his country, do a few renovations around the Balkans if he wants to, i.e., attack the other nations in the Balkans if you want. I would have taken one province connecting to Serbia so I can take the Serbian lands. You could also do the mission that you're required to have all the lands here up until the Croatians. That's doable as well. So one more mission down the drain, right? Down the line.
Sure.
But now he's having issues with the Knights not keeping the alliance. So let's see what he's going to do for the next war against the Ottomans. He should have a lot of an easier time, though. As long as he declares the war... Oh, I'm getting a little bit of lag as well. As long as he declares the war on time. And as long as the Ottomans... well, they're going to have better tech than him militarily.
True, yeah. Harder to trap them now as well, of course. But
a lot harder
he
to
could
trap
manage to
them
get
now.
maybe... Yeah, if he could get half their army over there or something. But what's the war the Ottomans are fighting over there at the moment?
They're attacking Trebizond right now. So they're at war with Trebizond, Georgia, and Theodoro. So that means they're probably going to be annexing Trebizond, maybe even Theodoro. And if they do that, well, it's not great since Trebizond's a mountain fort. And that's going to be harder to take eventually. And you need Trebizond as well as Erzurum and Erzincan in order to do one more of your missions. The one that gives you
the
plus,
theme system.
Exactly, yeah. The permanent manpower mission, everybody's favorite mission from the Byzantines.
Yeah, absolutely.
25% national manpower modifier until the end. As well as development. Yes.
Yeah. Reminds me of the old Ghazi. Do you remember? I don't know if you... I don't remember when you started playing, but do you remember when Ghazi was plus 100% manpower?
Oh, yes.
I'm pretty sure I'm not crazy, right? It used to be when you had to be at war, whenever you were at war with an infidel, you got double manpower. That was kind of insane.
Wasn't that in U3? I don't remember if I was U3 or
No,
U4
it was briefly in EU4. Only very early.
Was it?
Yeah.
I know it from EU3. I don't remember in EU4, to be honest.
It was one of those weird ideas. I don't think there are any more now, but it was one of those ideas that didn't have like a proper description. It just has text that like said what it was. It didn't have a modifier or anything, but yeah, back in the day. If we hop over to Laith's perspective, we can see that he's actually being driven back by this coalition of Koyunlus that he is finding himself against. The Karakoyunlu Press Ajam has actually come in on this war. He is quite badly outnumbered, and unfortunately he is suffering a little bit of input lag. So there's a possibility, thank you chat, that's a good point. But there's a possibility that he will need to hop over to another PC, but we will see. It looks like he's managing fairly well so far. In terms of in-game date, I would like to note, what date are you on right now? We're in June 51 over here.
We're in December 57 over here.
Wow. Okay. So the fact that he's obviously got that period of peace is really allowing him to just plow on ahead and go for it without any issues. He's storming forwards on these wars, but obviously that is going to delay him time-wise. Looks like Laith has managed to re-establish some control here. The Grand Company, allowing him to just tip the balance of power decisively in his favor on the front. But we'll see. I mean, he doesn't need to take too much here. There's no... I'm just trying to think about the mission trees. There's no reason for him to go further east than the theme system. Is that right?
I don't believe so. He can go into the Mamluk lands, into the Egyptian lands if he wants to get another mission done. I believe it was...
One for Syria, one for Jerusalem, one for Alexandria.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, of course, there's also Pentarchy, which would require Rome.
I think that would be very far-fetched, though, to get Pentarchy in this run. Highly doubt that.
Do you think?
Yeah, because
I think
you need to recover Alexandria.
Well switch over. Yeah.
Well, you need to recover Alexandria and the Eternal City, so that means you need to get all of South Italy as well.
That's true. I had forgotten that the Eternal City would require Venice, Southern Italy.
And you would also need to get Croatia, because you need to get the northern borders as well. So you need to get Croatia, all of Naples, Rome, all of the Balkans, all of Anatolia, all of the Mamluk lands, actually, except the ones in Arabia. So that's very far-fetched to 90 minutes. Unless, I mean, it is speed 5, so it depends on how fast we go, I guess, with the run.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It's been, we're about 25 minutes in almost so far. And, I mean, they're making headway. They're definitely making headway. Looks like we're approaching the point where he might be able to force a peace deal. Let's take a look. It's got some free diplomats. So remember, he's looking for this border, I think. So it's a 49 peace deal war. 49 war score peace deal, that is to say. And did I have those borders right? Actually, slightly less than I'd selected. I think he is actually in a position to get this peace deal pretty soon. Sorry, of course, not as the wrong nation. Yeah, only 39 peace deal. So he should be in a position to be able to enforce this fairly soon. But we will see. We will see. Okay, interesting. Byzantine separatists have just risen up against Laith in Constantinople. So one potential strategy, because this is something I haven't done the release strats in a while. If Byzantine separatists siege down a Greek culture province that doesn't have a core,
he gets a core in that. They add a core.
But I'm not sure there are any Greek culture provinces that don't.
There are a couple. There are the islands. The islands, Crete, Cyprus, Negroponte, Lesbos,
okay.
and Rhodos, Naxos. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the rebels can go to those islands also, though. The rebels can go there as well, though.
Yeah. So he might be attempting to allow them to do that. There's the peace deal in the east. Yeah, of course, taking the borders just that we expected.
Yep.
And
the borders
looks
needed.
like it. Let's hop on over. What do you think the next war on Habibi's side is going to be?
Habibi was declared on by the Venetians, actually. The Venetians have attacked, and they've attacked for the conquest of Gallipoli. It's a bit of a strange one on the Venetian side. Out of all places, taking Gallipoli strategically makes a lot of sense, actually, right? That's how the Ottomans managed to get into the Balkans in the first place, with the help of the Venetians, some would say, right? But this is actually God sent for Habibi, because he can take the Venetian possessions over by the entirety of the Balkan coastline. He can take the islands, and he can do another mission once he's taken all of the islands in the Aegean as well. And
does he have the claims he'd want to have ahead of this war?
I don't. Well, this is a war declared by the Venetians, and I'm not sure if Habibi has any claims.
Did he have a chance
right now?
No. Okay.
No, he didn't. He didn't have a spy network on them. I'm guessing he will get one. Oh, he has actually a claim on Durazzo, but that's from the permanent claims from the missions. So he gets that on the entirety of Albania, actually. In fact, what I would do is I'd cancel the alliance with the Albanians. He did that actually already, and I would attack the Albanians whilst at war with the Venetians, because the Venetians and the Florentines, they would not join in, and that's an easy 3 province you can get, and you can use those 3 provinces afterwards to take Serbia out, get the gold mine in Kosovo, and basically you don't get much aggressive expansion either, because if you take he already took provinces from the Ottomans, so he's gotten mostly aggressive expansion with Turkish and with Sunni nations. So if, let's say, he does take provinces that are from Albania, he gets aggressive expansion with Catholics, he gets aggressive expansion with the other Catholics once he gets provinces from Venice, and then once he takes provinces from Serbia and get the gold mine in Serbia, he's getting aggressive expansion with Orthodox nations. So he's essentially dodging any coalition, and he can triple in size within just a few years before the next war with the Ottomans, when he can take the rest of the Balkans or whatever he might be interested in. So he's got a lot of opportunities here, and he just declared the war on the Albanians. That's a really great move on his side over there. He might have some tough luck with the fort in Cruje. That is a really horrible fort right there. It can either go really great or really bad. Since it is a mountain fort, it is also a very, very tough spot where the Venetians already have a sizable army next to him. So he has to keep extra units on Cruje, meaning he's getting extra attrition. He's losing more manpower simply because this way, he avoids the Venetians attacking him on Cruje. Since the way that the AI weighs this in is it thinks that it's an easy to win battle, since, it's a defensive battle for the AI, offensive one for the Byzantines.
Just to point out, do not switch over to my perspective for a second. We'll stay on yours. We're just resolving a technical problem on my side.
Yeah, no worries. What do you think Habibi's plan is here?
I think there is a good chance that his objective is to manage to get himself into a position, obviously, where he can take Bulgaria. But then my suspicion is he's not going to go after Anatolia, because it seems like he's going to manage to get himself into a position where he's able to beat the Balkans. But the thing is, the second war against the Ottomans, it can sometimes be challenging. It can sometimes be, put yourself in quite a tough spot. So we'll see. We'll see. Thank you, chat, for the DMCA callouts. By the way, I appreciate that. He did put down the rebels, so there wasn't over. We can hop back over to Laith's perspective. He's taking the technical challenges are that he's facing a little bit of an input delay at the moment. As we say, we're happy to be going at speed 5, but there's still some kinks that we're working out. But the fact that he's killed his rebels is interesting. He's taking it as extra challenge, the slight input delay. So props to him for that. Okay, Mamluks war. Interesting. So he went for Cyprus, who are still not a Mamlukian subject, but just a vassal. That's good. That means he's going to be able to use them as the war leader against the Mamluks, which is pretty nice. He didn't actually full call the Mamluks, which is interesting. Do they have a dangerous ally that I'm not seeing? No, definitely not that. Interesting. So maybe he's not going for the Mamlukian, the actual Mamlukian missions. He's just going for. There is a recover Cyprus, isn't there? Maybe not. Am I crazy? I swore there was a recover Cyprus mission, but maybe not. Okay. Interesting. I'm not quite sure what he's doing with this war then, to be perfectly honest with you. So Mauryan separatists, okay.
I believe he does need Cyprus because Cyprus is a part of the theme system mission. That to reestablish the theme system, he needs the entirety of the state that Cyprus is a part of. I'm not sure.
It's Anatolian. Central Anatolia.
Right.
Counting Cyprus. Understood.
Yes.
Understood.
Yes. There you go.
Thank you, chat. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so obviously he's got to do that. And in terms of the numbers in this war, they're against him, but a bunch of them, like Fezzan, Lucca, is in this war. What the heck? Oh, Cyprus was in a trade league. It's the Genoese trade league. Oh, who actually is causing him some trouble. No, the Byzantine army is being destroyed. But yeah, he's got the Genoese Trade League, who are now sieging down his capital, as well as a bunch of this unfortified land back here. That's quite a big war that Laith has found himself in. Remember, of course, that today is one of the only chances when Laith could be dethroned. He's so far had a very consistent winning streak, and it's gonna come down to it as to whether he can hold it. He's passing through time in the game much slower so far than Habibi. So we're going to see if that bears fruit. Obviously, in some ways, getting through the years is advantageous, but from the other perspective, of course, every year you go, the AI consolidates, right? So unless you're growing at a faster rate, it can be that the game actually gets harder as you progress. But nice, good of the Great Horde to deal with some of the rebels there. Excuse me. But they did manage to inherit that siege and hand it over to Karaman, which I'm sure was not quite the idea that he had going into this. It looks like he's trying to push down the Mamluks before they have a chance. But, this does seem like a bit of a tricky war for him. He sent one army back to try and make sure he doesn't lose his capital. Did manage to see off that siege. So we'll see if he manages to continue out. But that is officially half an hour gone. We are 1/3 of the way through the challenge. And of course, for all the cleverness and fun ways of doing it, of this challenge, if we take a look at the Byzantine missions right now, we do have none completed. And of course, he's got another 57 minutes. It's a long time, but I think when you're putting yourself in that increasingly time-pressured position, it's going to be challenging. How would you? Oh, you didn't want to reveal how you think Laith is going to do the switch. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't want to reveal it because I think it would take away from the suspense.
Okay,
but
well,
I'm
think
that
curious,
I do think that he's got a little bit of bad RNG right now, so I'm not sure what he's going to be doing here. He needs to get out of this war. The sooner, the better.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, he's playing as the Ottomans, so he cannot go wrong. Whatever you do, the Ottomans are just ridiculously overpowered. So, what's his technology like right now? Is he on military tech 5 or?
Yep.
Yes, he's on tech 5.
And 14 years ahead of time. Plus, he's got lucky with a sack event, which is pretty nice for him.
He is doing absolutely amazing.
There. Nice.
How is his economy? Nice. How many loans does he have so far?
He is losing. Oh my god, he's losing 64 ducats a month right now. He's got a lot of loans. Wow, 3,000 ducats in loans. He can only have 30 at any one time. He's halfway to bankruptcy. And he is spiraling towards it at some pace here. But, I mean, the thing is, even if he was able to just hand over all the land he currently controls to the Byzantines, that's a lot of missions that he'd be able to accomplish just with the land he's currently gained. So he doesn't need to go too much further, already putting himself in a good position. Of course, whether he's going to be able to hand that land over, whether there's going to be able to be a smooth transition of power between the Byzantines and the Ottomans, I'm not so sure. But yeah, just to clarify to chat, he is playing as the Ottomans with an OPM Byzantine vassal, and we're going to see what his strategy is. Some people in chat are apparently helping workshop this strategy, so I'm excited to see what comes of that. But did he manage to just piece out the Mamluks? He did. Okay, he did just manage to piece out the Mamluks. That's going to make this war dramatically simpler. That's for certain. And yes, he does still have control of the seas, which means he's looking like he's in a pretty good position now. Any wars over on Habibi's side yet?
He is still in the Venetian War right now. He's winning it. Okay. He won the Albanian War, fully annexed Albania, so he has easy access to the Kosovo gold mine and the Serbian lands. He needs to fully annex Serbia for one of his missions also, so and Bosnia-Herzegovina, all of the coastline here, so he needs to take all of the provinces that the Venetians have in the Balkans, essentially. He doesn't need to take anything into Venice proper, but I mean, that's his decision of the day. He can do that if he wants to go really far into his mission tree, since I believe there is a Venice mission here that you destroyed the development in Venice. Let me see which one that was.
Yes.
Annihilate Venice. Yes, there you go. You get the second destruction of Venice. Payback for what the Venetians did when they supported the Latins in the 13th century when they sacked and destroyed the Byzantine Empire, essentially.
Was it the 12th Crusade? I forget.
I don't know. There were way too many crusades, in my opinion.
I mean, I think that's not a very unpopular opinion these days. I think most people. Yeah. I think most people will agree. There were probably too many. It was only the 4th? 1204? That does sound right. Was it really the 4th? I thought it was way later than that. Okay, 4th Crusade. Cool. Which is obviously really weird, right? Because the first ever crusade, and we're getting slightly off topic here, but the first crusade was called to defend the Byzantines. Not that that's what they were really doing. But that was at least the grounds that it all got kicked off on. But
the Crusades are definitely a very spicy topic, I'd say.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Lots of weird conflicting motivations and bizarre characters. Anyway, yes, we are in Duel 1 right now. Habibi versus Laith, just to remind you all, what you need to do is complete as many missions in the Byzantine tree as possible in 90 minutes. And we are already almost 40 of those minutes have gone. It looks like Laith is putting himself back in a fairly dominant position here, though. He is, his economy is, it's not in a great place. It's definitely not in a great place. If he can keep growing, of course, you can kind of outgrow debt. Good lesson for life and for EU4. If he can increase his development enough, the proportion of debt he has as a proportion of the total debt he can take will shrink. But right now, he's got some pretty tough spots. There goes Karaman getting yoinked. That means he's got all the land he needs. Oh, hang on. Doesn't he need Antiope for one of the for the theme system? Let me take
No, Ain Tab, no, he doesn't need it, no.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right.
No,
Okay, cool.
He has
He's
all
okay
the
there. He's okay
provinces
there.
that he needs. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And then we'll see. We'll see what his next play is. He's got the Cyprus occupied, so just a matter of time on that war. He also, of course, does want to take Schio and Lesbos from the Genoans, the Genoese, which will help him out. I should point out, by the way, this is one of the challenges where I need to point it out. You see this island just here? You see this? I need to point at it right. My camera's not up, actually, but never mind. I'll tell you later when I get myself back on camera. But remember, chat, remember this island. Remember this island just here. All right, they're pushing in.
Are you planning
pushing into those islands? Sorry, go ahead.
Are you planning to buy that island in the future? Is that what you're showing us?
I'm not planning to buy that island. I just have a photo. I have a photo on the wall behind me, which is me on that island. But it's a nice place. I can recommend it, chat.
Were you on the Fourth Crusade with?
I was not.
The rest of
I
the
am not
Latin
going to reveal
invaders,
myself as an immortal being at this point, and having been around since the Fourth Crusade, thankfully.
If we switch on over to Habibi's side here for a second, we've actually done the peace deal with the Venetians. I'm actually intrigued because he got most of the Balkan provinces that he needed, with the exception of Crete. Obviously, that is because he didn't have enough war score, and he also did not get Corfu. And I suspect that that's because, these are not really vital. And it also can happen that in the future, he can just take them in a second war. Plus, he did take Istria, and I think this is a great idea since Istria might fall over to the Austrians. And you don't want it to fall over to the Austrians because it is a really easy way of using Istria as a foothold for attacking the rest of the Italian nations. But is he going to attack the rest of the Italian nations? That seems like very far off in the future since we're just in 1466 and we only have 50 minutes left. So I'm not sure why he took this.
It does feed into my theory, though. I mean, if he doesn't go after Anatolia, he's still got a lot of time. I mean, we'll see. I mean,
I see why. So he actually went to war with the Venetians again, since the Venetians, I believe, were in the trade league with the Knights. So he attacked the Knights, and they were allied to the Venetians. So he's going to take Crete and Corfu in this war, I assume, as well as the island of Rhodes. So he has basically all the provinces he needs, except for the two islands that the Genoese have to do one more mission. And then after he takes Serbia, Herzegovina, Bosnia, Croatia, he does another 2 missions. And then another 2 more after he gets Bulgaria and the 2 provinces remaining in the Macedonian areas. So he's definitely already about 5 missions into this. I guess in 5 minutes, 6 minutes, he's going to be able to do all of them once he finishes the war with the Ottomans too.
Yeah.
Which I believe is soon. That's because we have the truce over with the Ottomans. Oh, this is very interesting. And the Ottomans allied Naples out of all nations as well as Ajam. Oh, that is horrible RNG right there. Wow, that's
it could be. How many provinces does he need in southern Italy to complete that mission?
He needs a lot of.
It's a lot of them, right? It's all of Naples minus Abruzzi. Yeah, I mean that would be quite the.
He's also taken
that would be an aggressive play
amount of loans. For sure, yes, he's taken up to maximum loans, 33 loans. He cannot take any more, and he's definitely going to go into a death war here. I'm guessing he's going to be attacking the Ottomans. That's why he took max loans.
Yeah, we're going to see both players go bankrupt.
It's possible. I mean, if he grows in size enough, he doesn't need to go bankrupt. So depends on what we're going to see. Yeah. We got faceting.
Nice.
And we got, How about on Laith's side? How is everything there?
Yeah, over on Laith's, it's pretty quiet right now. We're just quietly chomping on the Genoese alliance. He's booted out a couple of people. He's defending his borders. He's seeing what he can do. But, I mean, with only 47 minutes left. So it's okay. How about this question for you? Hey, Ludi. You think you know what he's going to do. You might not, but you might. Without telling us, how long do you think he needs to do the actual switch in real time?
I mean, once he has all the provinces, he can do it fairly fast.
We're talking 5 minutes, 20 minutes? 30 minutes. Okay, so he's got to start, you reckon, in about 17 minutes, or he's not going to have time.
Give or take.
Because he's got to make the actual switch. That would be the heartbreaking thing. You know, he puts himself in a position to complete more missions, but if he can't actually make the switch, it's all for naught.
Yeah. Yeah. That is extremely true.
Chat reckons he needs 5 minutes. Okay.
He needs 5 minutes. Then that's something different. It's not what I'm thinking then.
I mean, 5 minutes. What switch can he make in 5 minutes? That's insane. Notably, he's not improving relations with Byzantium. Oh no, it's just the war ending. I thought Byzantium stopped being a vassal. He's not improving relations with Byzantium, which leads me to believe he's not trying to annex them. Because if he were trying to annex them, he'd be improving relations, so he'd be able to do it.
But he knows that he has to be the Byzantines, though, in order to qualify for this run. Otherwise, even if
he watches
do
the
the
stream,
missions,
so.
but he's not the Byzantines, then that's a.
And even if he were trying to do that, he would struggle. He'd have to move his capital a bunch of times to give them all the land. He's watching the stream, so he does know that he has to be the Byzantines.
There's also a bug that was in a previous version that you could basically. Well, I'm not sure if it is in this version also, but if it is, then yeah, he can do it very easily.
Oh yes, okay.
Easily then.
Interesting. Okay, interesting. Well,
But
I'm looking forward to that next war.
Exploits like that.
We'll see. I like to see this, by the way. Byzantium has a 96 size. The vassal Byzantium has a 96.72 size spy network in the Ottomans right now. They're not giving up.
Oh, wow.
They believe there is a way for them to be able to push to independence. But looking at him right now, he's obviously got the Albanian cause, which would get him at war with Venice and Hungary. And there it is. I am a genius. It's exactly as I say it. He is kicking off. And the Ottomans have launched a war against Venice and Hungary. Looking good there. He's got the big naval battle, and it looks like it's going easily in his favor. The thing is, he's pretty close to bankruptcy. He's taking out like a loan every, well, it's not too close, I guess. A loan every like 6 months. But he can only take out another 10 loans. So that's, 5 years. And then he's in trouble. I mean, that's not long. That's 4 years, sorry. And then he's in trouble. That is not a whole long time. If you can gain some land, as we were saying, yeah, growing your way out of debt is certainly an option, but we'll see if he's managing to do it. He's got the war against Hungary. The numbers in this war, he has, of course, got Skanderberg, whose name is given to a rather excellent piece of tech that's been made by the wonderful EU4 community to let you analyze save games. But yeah, the mighty Skanderberg is leading a coalition of slightly more men than he has, but only slightly. But we'll see. If he loses some battles, he hasn't got much of an economy to fall back on in order to, shore things up here. Because with 22 loans and 5,000 ducats of existing debt, he does find himself in a little bit of bother. How's the economic situation on your end? Right over here, we've got, by my calculations, about 4 years before bankruptcy at the current rate. Of course, it can all change on a dime. But how about on your end? How about over with Habibi?
Habibi's doing. He's living on the edge. This man loves to live on the edge over here. He's got a lot of loans, but he can definitely pay off some of the older loans, and then he can take newer loans. So he has a lot of 50, 60 ducat loans, which are the older ones. His newer loans are about 110, I believe, 100 actually. So he can recycle his loans and he can get a lot more. The problem is, though, inflation is going to keep on going up. So that's going to affect the rest of the country, right? You got a lot of costs from inflation here. You got advisor costs, you got infantry costs.
Oh, he's at 18%. Jesus.
Yes. That is from mostly recycling the loans, I believe. And he can also use the patronage, the burger loans, not the patronage yards. He can use the indebted to the burgers, get the 1% loans. I think he still has the 1% loans with the small amount, doesn't he? Yeah. Oh no, he got the new ones now. So he's recycling that to not pay as much interest as he would otherwise. He's still paying 6 ducats in interest. And it's all good because I think what he's going to do is he's going to attack the Ottomans, use the sizable army that he has right now, and then get the lands for the Bulgarians, get the rest of the lands here, and then either truce break and get money from the Ottomans to fix his economy, or he's going to just try and fix it the manual way, I guess. I'm actually curious also to see what happens. Because he just deleted his entire army, so I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh, he went bankrupt.
Interesting. Is he trying to bait?
He went bankrupt.
Oh no, he did just go bankrupt. Ouch.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it definitely looks like
he used up all of his mana, though. I'm not sure. Did he use? I think he did use the mana before.
Okay. Oh, Laith also finding himself in a bad spot with both players having started really strong. We're now seeing both of them fall into a bit of a problem. We've got the Hungarians and Skanderberg giving Laith's army a drubbing here as they drive him back, and he's still losing 35 ducats every month. He's not got very much to fall back on. And of course, as soon as land starts getting occupied, it's all going to get even worse for him. Less inflation over on this side of things, but I mean, we're going to have to see what response can he have here. Another loan coming out there, but we'll see. I mean, he might try and burst down Hungary. Hungary is one of the easier nations to piece out early in the game, because if you can grab themes, then you can grab all of their nation, more or less, minus the 2 fort provinces in just a couple of months, because of course they don't have a capital fort bigger than level 1, but there is a push into Albania. Looks like he might try and piece out Albania so he doesn't have to fight Skanderberg, possibly. Oh no, of course, Albania is actually the war leader. He's not going to be able to do that. Okay, interesting. I'm liking seeing this kind of high loan, high risk, high reward playstyle though, because with 40 minutes left, of course, it doesn't matter if he goes bankrupt right at the end. If he's able to switch over, then it's not too much of a problem. What I will do though is just to take a brief look at, zoom out here. Anything interesting going on around? Yeah, we've got Denmark has taken the Highlands. Interesting. Anything else wacky in the world right now? All looks fairly standard. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled Ottoman programming. So, I mean, yeah, he's doing well in these sieges. It looks like he's managed to trap the Hungarian army at sea, which is obviously really good. That's going to make this war fairly trivialized. It should be good for him. It's interesting, the Venetians... he pieced the Venetians out. Okay, I missed that. That's why this war has suddenly turned around so much in his favor. Did he manage to get any money off them? If he did, he hasn't used it to pay off any loans. He's now 5,100 ducats in debt, and he has busted through. So there he goes, on to Pest. He's going to yoink his way through that fort in no time flat, I have to imagine. And he looks like he'll be able to bring it home. Looking pretty good on Laith's side at the moment. I'm curious. Let me consider the Ottoman missions. Sorry, the Byzantine missions. Where else could he be going to? Conquer the Balkans. He needs all of... I mean, that's a lot. Conquer the Balkans is a tough one. I think personally, honestly, Tripoli, Tunisia might actually be easier because there's just fewer provinces, less development. Because Conquer the Balkans, I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 14, 15 provinces. That's tough. That is tough for him to be able to take that many. We will see. Let's do a poll if we can. I think we've seen, this is now, we've passed the halfway point. Does chat reckon that Laith, with his Ottoman strat and his looming bankruptcy, is going to be able to pull out a win? Or do we think Habibi is going to manage? And while we're getting that poll set up, Ludi, what do you think?
Well, Habibi just restarted right now, so
whoa,
it's going to be very, very interesting.
Oh my goodness.
Very, very interesting.
Okay.
I
Restart.
think Habibi, yes, Habibi had a great start, but the problem is he... I don't know. I actually don't know what his strategy was. The first war is exactly what I would have done, right? But then he did completely different things afterwards that I personally don't understand. So I will ask him. I mean, the host will ask him after, I guess, to see what actually happened. the mistake he made, in my opinion at least, is that he didn't consolidate the wars against the Ottomans early on. The Ottomans, after they get military tech 5, they're basically impossible to kill as the Byzantines unless you already have a super strong nation, right? So what he needs to do is get that first war done, leave the Ottomans with Selanik and Edirne so he can do a second truce break against the Ottomans, take those provinces, take money, fix your economy with the money that you've taken in the second war. And then even though you get the truce break, it's not too much aggressive expansion. It's actually manageable. And then whilst you're doing that, also expand into Serbia, expand into Albania. Or if you don't want to do the truce break, at least get provinces that connect you to Serbia. So you take Serbia, Kosovo, Herzegovina super fast. You get the gold mine in Kosovo, so you leech off of that gold mine for a while. And then once you're ready for the second war against the Ottomans, you have a much better situation. But I still encourage the truce break with the Ottomans, or using Ragusa as an alternative, right? Because you can attack Ragusa, which is guaranteed by the Ottomans, and then you can use that way to bring in the Ottomans and get money out of the Ottomans, shorten the truce from 15 years or 10 years, how much it might be, to 5 to 7 years if you just take the money, right? Or white peace.
Yeah.
This way, you can take a lot more lands from the Ottomans, and this way you can fight the Ottomans before they have military tech 5, which is actually doable, because after military tech 5, you will never be able to defeat them as the Byzantines, unless you're just ridiculously lucky. He's got a great start. He was able to take the Epirates without the Epirates getting any actual alliances. So he's got an amazing RNG right now. Let's see if this amazing RNG sets in, and if he's going to get the same RNG with the war with the Ottomans. Basically the same.
He had a brilliant start last time.
Yes. He's a great player. He knows what he's doing as well. So I'm curious that he can make up for the last time very, very easily.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten his rivals yet, which is interesting. I'm guessing he didn't do that so he can get the Ottomans as a rival now.
Yeah. We are seeing, if we hop over back to Laith's perspective for a minute, of course, do yell out if that war starts. But if we hop over to Laith's perspective, Byzantines' mission, he has got the war against Albania won. So he's got the Recover Albania mission all completed there. I'm interested to see now. I suspect this might be when he makes his turn, when he starts trying to shift things over. He's doing such interesting things with improving relations. Makes me very curious what he's trying to do there. He's improving with the Mamluks and the Naples right now, which is, I mean, I don't quite follow why he would be doing that. First off, he's definitely not going to convince. Oh, sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm looking at it from Byzantine perspective. Sorry, my bad, chat. Yeah, he's not improving relations. That would make no sense. But he's won the war against Hungary. Didn't take any land against Hungary. Serbia, looking at the alliance chain. Yeah, currently Serbia and Bosnia are losing to Hungary, so that would be tricky. To answer the question in chat, yeah, we are on normal difficulty. All the settings, including stuff like Lucky Nations, difficulty, all that, all set to standard, unchanged just now. And we'll see what he's going to do next. Chat. Let's say you're not the person in chat that seems to have come up with this strategy, or is Laith's kind of grand vizier. What would you do here? What's the next mission? Because, I mean, let's tot up how many he's got right now. If he can give all his land to Byzantium, which is, in my opinion, still very much an if. He's got 1, 2, 3. Oh yes, he hasn't flipped religion, so it looks like he's not going to get the convert missions done. So he's got 3, 4. He's not got the Western Isles yet, right? No. Oh, no, sorry. I'm thinking of the Eastern Isles. He's definitely not got the Western Isles. He's not even got the Eastern Isles yet. That, to me, seems like the next target. So he needs to get these Genoese and Venetian islands back under his control. And then it's a matter of recovering Greece, which obviously he's done. And then Albania, which obviously he's done. Bulgaria, obviously he's done. So we're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it's only if he can do the Balkans. Oh, but here we go. We might be seeing some kind of strategy kicking off. He is handing off land to the Byzantines right now. He's given them the entire south coast of the Strait of Marmara, and he's carrying on. Okay. Wow, look at that. The vote in chat. A dead heat. 50-50 in terms of who we think is going to win here. I mean, that is quite the play. I think after honestly, after Habibi's restart, and given that it looks like Laith is trying to make his turn now and not later, if Laith had left it till he had like 10 minutes left, I would have said, yeah, that's risky. I don't see how he's going to pull that off. But now that he's making this turn earlier, I do think we're more likely to see a Laith victory. Of course, I'm spectating Laith, so maybe I'm biased. Maybe that's it, but we'll see. He could goof it. I mean, yeah, chat has a good point. Just imagine he gets all this progress and then he messes it up, and Laith wins with like one mission. It's right, Habibi wins with one mission. It's worth noting, actually. Do we know? Oh, there it is. Okay, so he gave them all that land, and then he declared war on them. I don't follow this strat. I know, you know, I'm fairly good at this game. I'll have you know. I've played it a reasonable quantity, just a couple of dozen, you know, many thousands of hours. But what is this strat? He's given them all this coastline. Now he declares war on them. They're not going to get cores, and he's immediately assaulting his way. Watch and see. I know, but I want to be able to figure it out. Does this conform with what you were thinking earlier, Lud?
No, it doesn't. This is something completely different. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's always fun to hear. So he assaults his way through. I mean, he can give them land, but he needs them to either not exist or be annexed. You know, he needs them to be fully annexed so he can either release them players or form. And the way to get around forming, yeah, he'd have to do one of the like the hard tag switches, but it's tricky. I don't see what the approach is going to be here. Interesting. How are things going over on Habibi's side?
Well, on Habibi's side, we have the war going, and we're doing exactly the same thing we did before. We got Geli Bolus fast like before. It's a fairly standard strat, pretty time-proof. This has been the strat for Byzantium for many patches now. And he's doing great. I mean, he's going to win the war easily. The question is, what is he going to do after he wins the war? That's what I'm curious right now. I'm guessing he's not going to do the same strat as before.
Yeah, you would think not.
I would not delete the mercenaries. I would not delete the mercenaries. If he doesn't want to go for the war with the Ottomans, he should still take Uskup and attack the Serbians right after for the Kosovo gold mine. Or just break, like possible. I said, and take the second one.
Yeah, knowing that he had that major cash issue, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, it's happening. Let's hop over to Laith's side. I'm being told it's happening. I want to know. I don't know what the strat is here. So he's occupied all the land. He full annexes them. Okay, but they don't have cores. They do have cores. How did he do that? What? How did that happen? Why does Byzantium have cores on all the land he gave them? Oh, they must have had a mission that gave them cores. Is that right? Chat, is that right? I have to know. Okay, so he did give them cores on all that land. Okay, and now he's nation ruining. Okay, so he's released Bulgaria as a vassal. He's released Kandahar as a vassal. They only get a claim, but they have a core. So how do they have a core? Chat, you gotta let me know. Okay, he's releasing vassals, and then he's feeding land to the vassals. He's feeding land to the vassals that includes Byzantine cores. That's interesting. Why? Grand Province gives your core. Of course. What are those cores? Of course. Yes, I forgot that. Granting gives a core if you have a core already. Yeah, because it removes your core and grants them a core. I'm interested that he granted Bulgaria so much land, including province that he already had a core on as Byzantium. So he's creating two vassals, basically, Kandahar and Bulgaria. And he's using the ever-handy grant province ability to click on the map, I suspect, because I'm so pleased when they added that. Anyway, he's presumably going to now declare war on Bulgaria and Kandahar in order to force them out, because you can't break a vassalization while you have a truce.
Here's what he's going to do, because I got it now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go for it.
So he's gonna have 3 or maybe maximum 4 vassals, right? So he's gonna release Bulgaria. So he already released Bulgaria and Kandar, right? He's also gonna release himself as Byzantium, and the added bonus is that once he does the independence war, he can call in the Bulgarians and the Kandari on his side, and then after he kills off what's left of the Ottomans, what he can do next? Oh no! Oh, I see what he's doing.
He's giving it all
himself. No, he's releasing himself as Byzantium, and I believe he's doing it whilst the Ottomans have no cores. Everything is also cored by the Byzantines. So then he gets the vassals of Bulgaria and Kandar also.
Oh, really? Is that how that worked? No, surely you can't release something if it would result in your game over. Can you?
No, it's not your game over though. You're playing as Byzantium.
No. If it would result in the Ottomans no longer existing, can he do that?
No. He can do that, yes. So now he's releasing Byzantium, and every core of Byzantium is the core of the Ottoman also.
Yeah.
So that means he's playing as the Byzantines, and he's getting, because he's annexing the Ottomans when he's releasing the
okay.
So he's getting the vassals of Bulgaria.
Possible.
And that's a very old exploit. This is like 1.30 shit.
That's nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's deleting the Ottoman army. I'm not sure he needs to do that if you're right, though.
There's like a lot of videos on this exploit as well. I'm surprised it hasn't been patched. I actually thought that it was patched in the recent update.
I mean, I hope it hasn't been, for his sake, because otherwise things might be about to get spicy.
He tested it for sure. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it if he didn't test it.
I suspect that's true. But... oh yeah, and he's deving stuff up, spending all his monarch points. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So he's gonna. The question is he, as the Byzantines with these 2 big subjects, gonna be able to take the Balkans? I'm still not completely convinced it's gonna work. I think. I mean, if I were,
he's doing all the missions though.
You know better.
He's doing all the missions with it because he's got most of the lands because it's owned by him or his subjects, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. It gets him all those missions for sure. I think this is going to be an extremely hard strat to beat if it works, because I agree, you're probably right. Like I'm not doubting that, but my expectation, not having heard from you how it works, would be that if you try to do that, it just doesn't release your capital. Like that. That's what happened.
That would be a nice workaround. Yeah, that would be a nice workaround.
That is what happened.
I don't think they patched it.
That's what happened. That's what just happened. So the Ottomans now have 2 subjects. He immediately declares on the Ottomans. He declares his war for independence, and then in his war for independence, he will do. He will transfer over the 2 vassals. I guess that's what he's going to try.
Yep.
Scootage.
Exactly. No, he just needs
scootage?
to annex. He doesn't need to transfer. He gets 0 aggressive expansion.
Oh, of course, he just
literally
annexes. He
needs
just
to
gives him subjects.
He annexes, annexes, and then his subjects become his subjects. It's easy.
And that's nice. And because he did it when they were paused, the subjects are not in the war against him because of scootage. That's sexy. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's very big brain.
Very big brain. So the things that could go wrong now would be like a Mamlukian declaration on Kandar. They do have the claim.
Yeah.
That would cause problems. But that is a nice strat. I like that. And that was really quick. Like chat was saying, it would only take 5 minutes. It was more than 5. It was more like 10, but that was pretty damn quick. He managed to really swiftly hop that over.
I'm actually super surprised they didn't patch this. This should be patched somehow because it's really broken. When you
I'm not sure how
annex
you
another
would.
country, well, you should change it so that when you annex another country, you don't get their vassals. So the mechanic at fault here is the fact that when you do annex another country, you get all of their subjects. So you get their tributaries, you get their vassals, you get their colonial nations when you fully annex them. It should be that they become independent rather than get transferred to you.
That's probably right. Oh, yep, here it is, as predicted. The Mamlukian War is underway. Thing is, if he's happy to end with this war, he can full annex them. Oh, and he's got, yeah, look at this. And Bulgaria is being occupied by Wallachia. Oh, wait, hang on. What? Bulgaria is being annexed by Wallachia, but they're not at war with Wallachia. Oh, because that... Wait, what the heck is happening? Well, I think the game might be glitched. Oh, no, okay, it kicked them out at the next tick. Okay, that was really weird. For a moment there, Wallachia had occupied provinces and Mamluks had occupied provinces, even though they weren't at war. But yeah, it went away on the monthly tick. Okay, and there we go. And now if we take a look at the mission tree, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 missions already complete by Laith. Very, very nice. And now, of course, he presumably is going to try and convert Asia Minor, and he's going to get a bunch of Turks driven from blank events and stuff. Nice. He's got... there are more things he could try and do, but I suspect if he was going to try and do them, he was going to do... he would have done them as the Ottomans, rather than doing them now. So I think that's more or less looking like it's likely to be the final score. I agree, though, it's not really bugged. I mean, that is... nothing there was... Those were all mechanics working as I kind of would have expected them to, but no. Awesome play by Laith, for sure. Looks like 7 or maybe 8, if you can grab those islands, is likely to be his score. Let's hop on over. Ludi, talk me through what's going on over on your side, over on Habibi's side right now.
Well, Habibi just wiped out a lot of Ottoman troopers. They're down to 18,000 now. He's taking them full on, so he's going for 100% here. He's not playing around. He's completely crushing the Ottoman armies. He's gotten the
Nice.
Balkans. He's working his way into the Anatolian parts, and he did the first war. This is the second war, in case I didn't mention that before. So he's doing the war for the Bulgarian reconquest of Kors right now. The reconquest of Edirne, for the Byzantines. Well, obviously he's going to feed the Bulgarians all of their cores as well, not just take Edirne. And AE-wise, let's check what his aggressive expansion is looking like right now. I'm going to check. We have only the Ottomans to worry about, Karaman, Crimea, so literally nobody to worry, really. We're in 1457, so the same year, actually, but very, very different strat here, so very, very different outcome as consequence. And we lost a few battles in Ankara, retreating back to the good old Balkans over here. We got an extra 20 minutes left, so there's still a lot of times to do things. There's still time to match
Laith. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, to match Laith, he doesn't actually have to do too much, right? He has to full annex the Ottomans, which is a big feat. I mean, that's like how many more wars for a full annexation on the Ottomans?
That would be a few, actually. That would be 4 more wars.
Yeah, okay. So 4 wars against the Ottomans, 1 against Karaman, unless the Ottomans full annex them here, 1 against Arkululu, and 1 against Albania, and 1 against Venice. Like, that's for 20 minutes. That's pretty tough. I mean, I'm not convinced that he's going to be able to pull that off, but we'll see. Court factions are favoring him, so what could go wrong?
How many missions do we have on Laith's side right now?
It's 7, I believe. Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
7
4,
missions.
5, 6, 7. Yeah, but he might get 8 if he goes for the Western Province. The Eastern Islands seems doable to me.
Yeah, that's very easy, of course. Yeah.
But it looks like he's not pushing for it. Like he's not, he's not on pause trying to gain manpower or whatever right now. So.
I mean, we still have 20 minutes, but I definitely think that Laith's got this in the bag right now. Considering that he already has all of the Balkans, all of Anatolia, it would be pretty hard to match that. He would need to do either 4 truce breaks, or he would need to... wait for the truce timers to...
We do have the perfect amount of money over here at the moment. For a moment there, we had 1444 ducats. But also, the reason he's not going after Genoa right now is Genoa is allied to Austria.
I have to say, though, that if Habibi tried to do the same strat right now in 20 minutes, he could do a lot better. Because as the Ottomans, you can easily expand, take a lot more land than what Laith took right there, and do the same strat fairly fast. Like
Laith
Habibi
did
could do
certainly
this
have
by
some troubles.
yes.
In
yes,
20
he did have
minutes,
some
I mean,
troubles.
17 now, I think he'd struggle. there.
Guaranteed he could.
mean-
I think he could do it. I 100% think he could do it. If he follows the same the same
be-
strat, he could do at least get the islands as well, and he could also get the Croatian land, Serbia, Bosnia, because that's just easy to get.
I think the
if the
Venetian
Ottomans are
War
young.
would be
You
the
can have
consuming one.
if you go full balls as the Ottomans, you can do all of Anatolia, all of the Balkans in 5 years, tops. And I'm talking about Trebizond and everything. Yeah, you could. If you go full balls, if you go 5 wars at the same time, it's easy. You can go a lot of mercenaries. You can do stuff that competitive players do on a regular basis. It's not that difficult.
Okay.
Which
Well,
kind of begs
we'll
the
see.
question now: what's going to happen here? Because we also have a few weird wars. We have an Epirid War for independence. We have a Venetian conquest of Athens. So I don't feel like Byzantium's in the best situation right now. I'd say a restart and a try over as the Ottoman tactic is the best play. For,
It's 16 minutes. I don't see how he's going to manage it as 16 minutes, but
I mean,
thing
he's
I
going
don't
to do
know-
better than what he's got right now, though.
yeah, maybe. One thing I don't know is how many missions did he manage to complete in his first run?
I believe it was 1 or 2 missions.
1 or 2. Okay. I mean, it looks like
He
Laith
definitely
is going to
had
manage
the
to...
Recover Greece mission. And I think the
Right,
Eastern
yeah.
Islands he had also. Yes, he had 2 missions. Eastern
Yeah.
Islands and Greece, I believe.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Oh no, he didn't have the
It's-
Genoese Islands actually.
Okay. Well, it seems like Laith is going to take a clean sweep, a full set of victories, carrying him decisively into the final next week, which is will be our first ever. I don't know if we're calling it this way, but our first Master of Universalis, carrying himself into the final on a very decisive win streak. It's been close on some duels. It's certainly been close, but it's been a very convincing victory. Certainly today there were some tough moments, but he had a proven strategy and he's carried it forwards. And yeah, it does look like I'm not sure what he's waiting for at the moment. He just seems to be kind of letting time go. He's probably pushing for the missionaries. Yeah. That will be what it is. He's going to attempt to get the conversion missions done. Has he gone? He hasn't quite got the next national idea. He has got a missionary strength advisor. No surprises there. And he is pushing on that. Can he get a... Is there there's no conversion icon. That surprises me. I thought there was. I must be thinking of different religion. But yeah, he's got 5.2 missionary strength right now. And he's got quite a few of these provinces he's going to have to convert. What's the highest dev one here? I mean, they're not too high on dev. He could also, in fact, yes, he has. He is exploiting the development in these provinces to lower it so that he's able to do more conversions faster. Nice, very good strat. Love to see that. And he'll be able to exploit the dev again in 14 years, which sounds like an insanely long time. But at speed 5, I don't know. 1 missionary's done. He's got to send the next one. There it goes. Okay. Do you think he has time?
He has time, yeah.
Managed to
I mean,
convert
he's got
these?
13 minutes to do it. Of course he has time.
Okay.
I mean, look
Okay.
at that missionary speed go up there. We're already at 10%. Just got to do this, how many times? 8 times? 7 times?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does have,
Easy.
I mean, that is cranking. That is cranking on the missionary speed.
All right. Well, we have calling it from Habibi. He's thrown in the gauntlet. Gauntlet?
Oh, yes. Okay.
So,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
we can then officially declare Laith to be the winner. That is
Yes, we can.
Let's check the mission count. We could, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 7. And Laith, he has successfully. Did I say Habibi won? Laith has won. Congratulations, very much due. I think you're right with 12 and a half minutes on the clock. He would be able to get all these conversions done. So I think we can, if hosts don't disagree, I think we could potentially call it here and call it a score of 8 for Laith, because there's nothing that's going to stop him from converting these last few. Ludi, what was the decisive moment this round? You think?
Well, the decisive moment. It's a tough question, because I think the decisive moment is depending on what game we're talking about here. This were two different games. One was an Ottoman game, the other one was a Byzantium game. So I don't know what to tell you about that, man.
To be honest, to me that was the decisive moment. As soon as I loaded in the game and I saw Laith was playing as the Ottomans, I was like, yeah, that's going to win. He's going to take it. That was great. I mean, it was a rules lawyering style behavior is not discouraged. Speaking as the man that has to write the rules, I don't mind it. I definitely don't mind it. Let's get our players in here and see what they have to say for themselves. I want to hear first from our hosts. What was
good save?
Good
what were your
save,
thoughts?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely who I wanted to hear from.
Smooth.
What were your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I'm gonna say I was speechless. No, but it felt like we knew something was up, both when we talked to Laith early in the show, also how you reacted on it. It was very exciting to see
That was.
it play out. Also, some people in Twitch chat that were very cheeky about what Laith was doing, and I'm kind of curious to see how many people were actually involved with the strategy. If Laith is be like, I came up with everything on my own, or just go like classic YouTube strategy, or if there was some,
of course,
if he has a bank of people he's kind of relying on and then he's just executing.
Yeah, that was super interesting. That was smart.
Yeah, this whole council of people advising on the stratagems being used. It's fun to see. It's a real community project. Mm-hmm. It was cool. It was very cool.
Now, just to get the actual, ink on paper. After that, Habibi threw in the towel. But what were the numbers at the end?
So, the actual numbers are 7-2, but as game master, I use my infinite powers to bestow an additional point on Laith, because he would have got the conversions if I'd given him the clock to take out. There was nothing that was going to stop him from achieving that, realistically. So the scores on the doors at the end of round 1, duel 1 for today, is 8-2. But the 2, it doesn't reflect the quality of the play from Habibi. 2 extremely well executed first Ottoman wars really looked very, very nice, very convincing. There was no, lots of people think of Byzantium as one of the hardest starts in the game. I mean, there are lots of kind of OPMs around the place that might beg to differ, but it's certainly one of the fan favorite hardest starts, and he made it look easy. He plowed through it in a very convincing play from him. I mean, they were just, the economic play, riding the lightning in that way that our players need to do to make the most out of the 90 minutes just didn't quite go his way. But I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing from what the players have to say themselves.
Okay. Well, on that note, unless you have any more questions.
No, I have loads of questions, but I'd rather ask the players than can Krista and Ludi at the moment.
None taken.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We will see you again shortly.
Well, I mean, hopefully they'll be here soon. Like I told our casters, really curious to see how many people were in on devising the strategy, and also, of course, from Habibi going for the restart. There, we talked about it last week, didn't we? That there is RNG, and you can get a bad run. And the question then becomes, okay, so when do I restart? We saw that with we saw that with Kara in week 1. We saw that in last week as well, right?
Right.
Where it's okay, do you go for the safe, in air quotes, or do you go hog wild and try and get all the points? And I honestly don't know which is the better strategy here.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and let's bring them in and we'll ask them those questions. Congratulations, Laith. Queen sweep there. And of course, you're wearing your sweater.
Had to be done.
It did most definitely have to be done. Congratulations.
You.
How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty good, I have to say. I'll be honest. I've been nervous going into every single one of these.
Yeah.
So I was actually genuinely quite pleased just to win one of them, let alone three. So I'm actually quite happy about how it's turned out.
But that does mean that you're coming back next week to fight in the final, which is of course going to be a best of three. We don't know yet who your opponent is. Habibi, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Even after the loss, it wasn't even RNG that lost me the first run. It was my own mistake. There was two major mistakes. One, I pieced out of Venice before finishing Knights. I should have finished Knights and then Venice. That got me into another war against Venice. And then the third mistake was I kept hitting space to pause, running at speed 5, because I was like, in order to reach my goal of getting like 10 missions, which I would have been able to do, I need to play at like speed 4, speed 5, because you can go down the entire Balkan path, and then I was going to no CB Tunis, and then fight Naples. But the money situation, because you're taking loans and you're expanding, your loan size gets bigger while your loan amount gets bigger while your loan size gets smaller. So it was a lot of mismanagement of the loans, of taking loans to repay the lower loans to be able to take bigger loans. Because in the end, I ended up bankrupting on like 1.3k ducats, which isn't even that much debt. So it was definitely a mistake, and getting used to not pausing with the space, having to go all the way up to the top right to click and pause.
So do you wish that you had restarted a little bit sooner once you actually kind of knew that things were starting to go south? Do you wish that you'd actually restarted sooner?
No, I don't wish I restarted sooner. The big mistake was not readjusting the loans. I hit the spacebar thinking that the game was paused, and then I started restructuring loans, and then ended up bankrupting.
Yeah.
And if I didn't end up bankrupting there, I would have kept going with the run. I already had like almost like 4 or 5 missions with like 2 provinces off of 1-2 wars.
Yeah, and I mean, we should mention here as well for our viewers at home that you guys are playing at an extra deficit, right? Because you are playing on our computers here in the studio over a Parsec, a remote desktop, which, as you say, changes some things or makes something that you might not necessarily be 100% used to if that's just different resolution, or as we saw behind the stage on Discord in Laith case, some input lag from time to time. So extra challenge there. We apologize for that, but we're still ironing out some of the kinks. Laith, I have a question I've been eager to ask you based on some Twitch reactions. Now, admittedly, clearly, you employed a strategy that at least Count Christo hadn't counted on. It seemed like there was a bunch of people in Twitch chat that were kind of aware of what your strategy going in was. Meaning, do you have like a council of elders behind you kind of strategizing for the 24 hours between when you get the challenge and when you actually play the game?
I think Laith itself is an identity versus being just me. So I think that's how you should view it. But in all honesty, it was just sort of last night. I have to sort of say, 2 guys, Hydra and External, helped out quite a bit because we're sitting in Discord chat at about 2 a.m. I'm reading Christo's rules, and he's gleefully said a few times that he words them very carefully. So I thought, okay, what if we didn't start as Byzantines? What if we started someone else? And then from there, it sort of built to like, okay, what if we did this crazy thing? Next thing you know, it's like 6 a.m. I've got to be up in like 3 hours. And yeah, we try, like I tried doing the Byzantine run, and they were kind of comparable. So I thought this time around I'd do something that's a bit more fun, just because it's a bit out there. And I think it went well, just because that's how the strategy is. It's the Ottomans at the end of the day. But that is the only time I've seen Hungary ally, Albania in my test runs. The Cyprus going into a trade league. Yeah, I think a lot went wrong, but I think just because the Ottomans, you can roll a little bit better with it, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, so when I heard Habibi was saying he was going to get 10 missions at the start, that definitely steered me in the direction of, okay, I'm just going to see what I can do as the Ottomans and play it out from there, because I was not confident I could get 10 missions. I only ever did that like once as the Byzantine, so...
Well, on that note, we will see you again next week, Laith. So congratulations on tonight. And Habibi, we will be doing your next challenge will be tomorrow. So we will figure out hopefully what happens after that one. So thank you so much, guys, and have a great night.
Bye, guys.
All right, thank you very much. Cheers.